Here we are in Los Angeles with the undefeated rising prospect, Mr. Joey Spencer Jr. in LA. Man, you're fighting this weekend on this Spence versus Porter undercard, man. How you feeling?
Feeling good, yeah. I had a really good training camp and just getting the weight made now and getting ready for the weigh-in, and I'm going to be ready on fight night. I'm really in a good spot. So
weigh-ins at, I would imagine, age 19.
Yeah.
Not the biggest challenge.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, but I do walk around, a good amount heavier than what I fight at. So it's difficult, but compared to these guys who are starting to get, into their 30s, it's definitely not as hard for me as them.
Well, right now you got like super fast metabolism right now at 19, man. You could literally probably eat something pretty moderate like the day before and still be on weight, I bet.
Yeah, it's not terrible. It's not terrible.
Dude, I remember when I wrestled around like your age and stuff like that. Like I remember like I could pretty much eat whatever the hell I wanted.
Really?
And still make weight.
It sounds like you were doing better than I am.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still gotta watch yourself?
Definitely, I gotta watch myself. I'm on a pretty strict diet right now. Yeah, I only eat a couple small portions a day actually right now. Yeah. It's pretty difficult at this point, but I mean, I know I don't have it as hard as some of these guys, though, like in comparison. Yeah.
What are you eating then, like on a typical day?
Just a lot of lean protein and like grilled chicken. I eat a lot of grilled chicken right now, and potatoes. And I mean, those two things are probably the main thing that I'm eating right now.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, so it's pretty simple right now.
Yep. Do you have a nutritionist, or you kind of just do it on your own?
Yep, we work with a nutritionist. That was actually Andre Ward's nutritionist. We hooked up with her when we were out in the Bay. She started working with me, and also this camp, Chris Algieri, started helping out a little bit, and we had some conversations with him, and he's given us a lot of pointers and stuff like that. So, yeah, he's been a big help too.
Chris knows how to cook his food, man.
Yeah, he does. He's smart too.
Of food, yeah.
He has a degree in whatever that is. So
you use the fighter's cookbook?
I didn't use the actual cookbook, but no, he definitely
his personal cookbook.
Yeah, does he have one? Does he have a cookbook out?
Yeah.
I think I heard that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but he's great. He's smart.
He is, man. Yeah. He like I said, he knows his stuff, and it's like not just like the plain old food. Like he knows how to mix up like good recipes and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's also like the rehydration and. Fueling up after the weigh-in that he comes and gave us some great advice about too. So, because that's all like obviously a really complex process.
Yeah.
So, but he gave us some good advice. So we're learning as we go.
How is like your weight cut process at like this age and stuff like that? Like how do you approach it? Yeah.
So being at this age, I'm growing up a lot. Like when I was first turning pro, I would get up to like 172, 173, and then I would come down to 154. Well, that was I was feeling my performances in the ring, like I wasn't feeling good. My weight cut was way too drastic, So as I'm getting older and starting to figure this whole thing out, I'm starting to stay at I'm holding a training weight, which is about 10 over, like 166, and that takes discipline when you're out of camp, not just going crazy, eating whatever, whenever, so and also I stay in the gym pretty much all the time too, so that helps keep the weight down. But like I said, I maintain 166 and then just do a slow cut all the way through camp, and to this point, like I said, so then it's no big strains. Like before I used to have to lose, at least I've had to lose 12 pounds the night before.
I remember those days. I remember doing that.
Yeah, it's not fun, is it?
It's not fun.
It's not fun. It sucks. So I've had to lose 12 pounds before a fight and then just felt absolute garbage in the fight,
Yeah, you
it's not good.
Well, it's a weird thing because everybody's different, and
everybody
is
different. That's true.
At 19, I guess your body can adapt a little bit better than someone who's like 30, 35, doing that. But you do feel it the longer you go in a fight. Like I would feel it
100%
in a match. Not my first match, but I'd start feeling it like my second, third, and fourth matches and stuff like that.
100%.
Like, oh fuck, like.
And in our comparison to us, it'd be like, come out, feel like awesome the first 2 rounds, and then just be like, oh shoot, I'm starting to lose my legs. You know what I mean? I'm starting.
Yeah. That's what I feel like. My legs would feel really
like
heavy.
Jello heavy. You know what I mean? And
you just triggered a ton of memories just right now.
I always know when the way I feel in the ring. I always know when it's weight. When I feel weight drained or like something didn't go right, I'm like, oh, yep, I already know, because I also have done this, we've done this for forever. So I know how I feel in training camp when the weight starts to come down. It's always the same feeling, like you get the same feeling in your legs, feel a little bit and you can start off feeling great. It just comes off slower, like you'll hit a wall faster, So that's kind of the weight, situation.
So, naturally, people watching this and that have been following you would hear that and be like, okay, that makes sense with the few times they've seen you on TV then.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I've had that. The last 2 fights are the first fights that I've gone distance.
Yeah.
And yes, that makes perfect sense.
Before you were knocking everybody out in spectacular
100%.
fashion, and then, these last 2 fights seemed a little bit harder.
Yeah, definitely. And I can contribute a lot of that to getting these fine details, in place as a pro, for the weight cut. Because I train, people, I've heard people online or things like that be like, oh, he needs to train harder and this and that. I'm like, there's only so much harder you can train. Like, I train my butt off, you know what I mean? I don't even take breaks really in between fights. I get done with the fight and I go back to the gym, And like for this fight alone, I've had probably an 11-week camp, 12-week camp. Like, I didn't take a break. So, but it's the things that happen. And the 2 fights ago, I actually got sick before the fight. And that was the one that I had the 12 pounds to lose before the fight, because I got sick, and then it actually it really stalled my weight cut, because you got to feed yourself to get better from the sickness.
See, what happens there is you got to feed yourself liquid. You're sick.
Exactly. So you gotta
and you retain all that.
100%, and then you're holding. My body was acting all funny, you know what I mean? So then it was harder to get the weight off, get the water off, and no excuses. I got the win. I don't need to make excuses to the people, but at the same time, I'm my biggest critic, so it's hard to, not have the performances that you feel like you could put on. But at the end of the day, I know that we're still fairly new to the sport. I've only gone distance twice. Fairly new to the pros, at least. It's a lot different than the amateurs. I know I got the skills. I've been doing this for a long time. I know what I can do, and I know what's going to come together and I think it's going to be this fight, because I think we've got a lot figured out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's good, man. Yeah, I think that's the thing that fans are being wondering, like, hey, what happened to these big knockouts and stuff? So you expect them to come back in this fight on Saturday?
I don't know if it's going to be a knockout. I really don't. I'm in there with a opponent that's, my biggest test to date. He's undefeated. He's 5-0. So and he's a tough guy. He's coming to fight. So I'm not going to promise knockouts every fight, but at the same time, I know that I'm going to come in there. I'm going to do my thing. I would rather go in and get a good unanimous decision where I just want to know that we got all these things set, which I think we do. And so that's why I would rather prove to the people I can go distance than prove I can get another knockout, because I've got more knockouts than what I've gone distance. So
this is the first fight where you're doing the cut the correct way, with Chris is telling you like how to cut the weight and stuff.
Yeah, we're learning a lot, and I've had a great camp. Everything is in place. You know what I mean? We've had a fantastic camp. Weight cut's gone smooth. You know what I mean? We got everything. We learned from our mistakes in the past, and I've trained my butt off. I know what to do. I got the skills, so I'm ready to rock.
I think that's why when you're saying it's more important to go the distance, because you want to see how your body responds with the way you're cutting now, huh?
100%. Well, I don't. Not even that I want to see it, because I feel like I know what's going to happen in there. I want to show everybody else.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I got it to prove to them, not even to myself. Things are good. I'm ready to go.
This is fight number what for this year?
This is number 4.
4. I was thinking 3. Yeah, well, you've had 3 already, and this is going to be the 4th one.
Yep.
How I guess the year's kind of coming to an end. Do you think you could squeeze one more in?
I think I probably will.
Yeah?
I'll probably fight in December. Yep. So that's what they've told me, my team. So I'm looking forward to fighting again this year. I'm looking forward to coming in here and getting a good performance, getting right back in the gym and getting back in December.
You're a growing kid,
yeah.
But it seems like the weight cut, you're still able to do it. But, looking at you, you're going to fill out the older you get.
Yeah.
I guess, like, naturally, you got to think, like, hey, you'll probably end up at, like, 60, 68.
Yeah, I probably will end up at 60, somewhere in my 20s, and probably even 68, like you said. I've got a body type that I feel like will, fill out into the bigger weight classes.
You look like you could pack mass on.
And that's kind of where the weight came from, comes from, even in between if I don't watch it, because I'll fill out, So
honestly speaking, like looking at your build and looking at your neck, you have like a body type of wrestler.
Oh, yeah. But people have told me that before, I've always had the big neck and stuff like that. So I definitely think I could move up, in weight. And that's something that excites me. All the great ones have moved up in weight and done well, so forward to that,
What do you think you've improved the most this year?
I think that this year has been a constant learning process for me, and I've gotten better, I feel like, in every camp. And this camp, I feel like I've gotten a ton better. But really, the thing that I'm learning how to do is deal with the pressure. You know what I mean? That's a big thing.
Like pressure as in like doing all the media stuff, or pressure as
yeah,
in...
I mean, not doing all the media stuff really, because that stuff doesn't really bother me. It's more just I've got a lot of people watching me. I got a lot of people, with high expectations. Even just, I came off coming in this year, I had all knockouts, and I was the prospect of the year for PBC. So everybody naturally has high expectations. You know what I mean? So I'm on big stages. They've been put me on the biggest cards and things like that. That's a blessing, and I'm really just learning how to do that and not really do it, for the fans, and not, let that distract me from going in there and putting on my best performances. Not letting like the outside, noise like get into my head before
like
I get in that ring.
Influence the way you fight.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like I've gone in there, and instead of just letting things play out, like even in my last fight, I feel like I rushed it a little bit because I was dominating my fight in the first 3 rounds, and then as I started, I feel like I started being like, oh, they want a knockout, I got to get a knockout. Started kind of loading up my shots and starting to put the bull before the horse. So I got to let my fights play out. Not all fights are knockouts. It doesn't matter who you're looking at, whatever. So you can't fight for the fans, even though I want to give the fans a good performance every time in an exciting one. We're only human. We can't knock out everybody. So you got to go out there and just let the fights play out. So that's something I'm learning how to do.
Yeah, you got to do you first, man.
Yeah, for sure, because the win's the most important thing.
Yeah.
You can go out there and be trying to please the fans, and if you lose, that's a wrap. So you gotta be smart in there.
Has your development been where you felt you would be at this point? Like, do you feel you're ahead? Do you feel like you're right where you thought you would be?
I feel like my development, I feel like I'm ahead. I feel like I'm ahead. As far as I feel like I'm having these experiences that's gonna only help me in the future faster than I would have thought. Like I said, not a lot of, you can look down the list. There's only a select few fighters at my age that are fighting on platforms that I am.
Yeah, 19?
There's only, maybe a handful in the game right now who are fighting on stages like I am. So that's only going to help me, because I'm going to be, when the other fighters are coming in and they're just now getting their big shot on TV when they're 24, 25 years old, they got to deal with that. But I'm 19. By the time I'm 25, I'm going to be like, that's old news. I don't have to worry about the pressure of being on TV or fighting for the fans. I'm going to have that figured out. So that, as far as my development, I feel like I'm ahead. I never would have expected to be on these stages at this young,
It's pretty cool to see, like, you new guys, like, come up now and start to develop. And we've seen the old cats. It's funny, I'm calling them old, and they're not really that old. But, like, in the boxing game, they're old. Yeah. They're older. Mm-hmm. But it's like, seeing you come up, seeing Ryan come up, Devin come up, Teofimo, the Shakur, like all the other guys, and it's a cool thing to see, like, you guys molding it and starting to develop, like, who you guys are going to be as fighters, because you guys are going to be it in 3-4 years, 5 years, somewhere around there.
I appreciate that, and I feel like everybody has their own way, like their own process of learning it. You look at what Teofimo just kind of went through. He didn't have in what everybody else was, just dogging him about that performance. I couldn't believe the way that people were dogging him about this performance, because he had a tough fight. Like, what do people expect? He's not Superman. Yeah. He's gonna have a tough fight every once in a while.
Everyone ends up having a tough fight that they look bad. Everybody.
Look, at the end of the day, styles make fights in there. You know what I mean? I even hate when people start to compare, oh, he did this against this guy, how is he going to do this against this guy? Look at Caleb Plant when he fought Medina. You know what I mean? Everybody off that performance, oh, he'll never be able to compete at 168 because he can't hurt nobody. Mm-hmm. Comes out and drops Uzakazi like 2 rounds in and, just shuts him out. He looked plenty strong in that fight. Fights are different. Different fights are different fights, At the end of the day, we're where we're at for a reason. We're going to keep developing and getting better. That's what it's all about.
I like your breakdowns with fights up. I've asked you before, to give fight predictions. What do you make about the main event?
This is a hard one, Everyone's asking me about it, and at the end of the day, I feel like it's going to be whoever can implement their game plan better, because they both have what they want to. They have in their minds what they want to go in there and do. And in this case, it's like it's a styles make fights matchup like no other. You know, Errol's gonna try to come in there, and he knows that he's gonna have to go through Sean Porter's tactics. That Sean Porter's basically already made clear he's gonna go in there and fight his old style of fighting. You know, he's come in and boxed Ugas and moved and things like that. That's not what we're going to see against Errol. I'm pretty positive that he's going to come in there and he's going to be bulldogging this fight the whole time, you know. And me and my brother have talked about, we've never seen Errol deal with anything like that, you know. So a lot of people are saying this is going to be an easy fight for Errol, like as far as what I'm seeing online and stuff like that. I just don't see it like that. I think it's going to be tit for tat, and I think it's going to be really, really close fight, you know. Somebody can get caught. I think they both have the power to catch each other, and if they do, it can end early, but at the same time, they both have great chins too. So I feel like Errol is going to have to try not to get smothered, and he's going to have to try to get his shots off, and Sean's got to smother and make it ugly the whole time. I think he knows exactly what he's got to do.
Introduce your little bro for us.
Oh yeah, this is Mikhail Spencer here.
Mikhail,
Hey.
who you picking main event?
I don't really have a winner.
Yeah.
But I could see Porter doing something that Errol's never seen before. Because really, he hasn't had too much adversity in the ring. And Porter, he's going to make it really hard. He's probably going to have a couple cuts. There's going to be a lot of things that will happen.
All right, Mikhail, man, give a shout out to yourself. Plug yourself.
Go follow me at my Instagram, at Mikhail Spencer.
You're how many amateur fights? You got a lot of amateur fights.
Yeah, like 50.
50. There you go, man. You're up and coming right here.
Yep.
National champ. Four-time national champ.
Four-time national champ.
Yep.
There you go, Joe. Hey, man, it was good chatting with you. Thank you so much, man. Go ahead and let everybody know where they can follow you at.
Yeah. Follow me on Instagram at Joey D. Spencer and on Twitter at JSNation_.
There you go.
Thank you guys.
Right
and
here,
tune in for the fight.
Saturday.
Yes, sir.